Hey, Nikki Brown here. No matter where you are and no matter what part of the world you are in, I hope that you're having a good day. So, one of the things that I am going to do is read from this book by James Allen, As a Man Thinketh. And then there is a follow up book by another author, As a Woman Thinketh. Right? Um, and the author is Dorothy J. Hurst. Holst. So first we'll read from As a Man Thinketh. Thought and character. The aphorism as a man thinketh is as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Right? Not only embraces the whole of a man's being, but it is so comprehensive as to reach out to every condition and circumstance of his life. So basically, in all areas of a man's life, however he thinks is how his life is going to show up and manifest. A man is literally what he thinks. Um, I often say, based on the law of attraction, we don't attract what we want, we attract who we are. And some people take that as blame, right? Oh, you're saying this happened to me because of the way that I think, but that's not what the law of attraction is about. It's not about blame, but it is holding us accountable and responsible for our thoughts. And if we continue to say certain things, they can show up in our lives and become a reality. So we have to be mindful of the things that we say. Okay? It goes on to say, a man is literally what he thinks, his character being the complete sum of all his thoughts. As the plant springs from and could not be without the seed, so every act of a man springs from the hidden seeds of thoughts and could not have appeared without them. This applies equally to those acts called spontaneous and unpremeditated as to those who are deliberately executed, right? Act is the blossom of thought, and joy and suffering are its fruits. Thus does a man garner in the sweet and bitter fruitage of his husbandry. Thought in the mind hath made us what we are. By thought was wrought and built. If a man's mind hath evil thoughts, pain comes on him as comes. Hath evil thoughts, pain comes on him as comes the wheel, the ox behind. If one endure in impurity of thought, joy follows him as his own shadow. Sure. I know that sounded a little janky, but I'm reading exactly verbatim. Man is a growth by law. Matter of fact, I'm going to go back and read that part. Thought in the mind hath made us what we are. By thought was wrought and built. If a man's mind hath evil thoughts, pain comes on him as comes the wheel, the ox behind. If one endure in impurity of thought, joy follows him as his own shadow. Sure. Man is a growth by law and not a creation by artifice. And cause and effect is as absolute and undeviating in the hidden realm of thought as in the world of visible and material things. A noble and godlike character is not a thing of favor or chance, but it but is the natural result of continued effort in right thinking, the effort of long cherished association with God-like thoughts. An ignoble and bestial character, by the same process, is the result of the continued harboring of groveling thoughts. Man is made or unmade by himself. In the armory of thought, he forges the weapons by which he destroys himself. He also fashions the tools with which he builds for himself heavenly mansions of joy and strength and peace. By the right choice and true application of thought, man ascends to the divine perfection. By the abuse and wrong application of thought, he descends below the level of the beast. Between these two extremes are all the grades of character, and man is their maker and master. Of all the beautiful truths pertaining to the soul, which have been restored and brought to light in this age, none is more gladdening or fruitful of divine promise and confidence than this: that man is the master of thought, the molder of character, and the maker and shaper of condition, environment, and destiny. I don't know about you, but that was deep. um, those words were very deep, and again, they basically align with the law of attraction. As a man thinketh, so is he. Um, they also talk about this in The Secret. Most of your gurus, your Tony Robbins, your um, um, Lisa Nichols, your Eric Thomases, they all talk about how you speak to yourself in order to manifest what you want, in order to manifest a better version of yourself, right? And Eric Thomas in particular, he's very passionate about the way he delivers his message. Whereas Tony Robbins, he's passionate in a different way. And then Lisa Nichols has her own style um, of presenting this same truth, right? Um, but they're all relevant, and you can pick and choose which parts you would like to you can relate to and incorporate them in your life if you choose to, because some people are satisfied with how they are, the way that they are. They don't want to change. They don't like change, and they think that their life is supposed to be the way that it is. So for someone who, you know, maybe had a mom who yelled all the time, they will say, well, it's okay that my wife or my girlfriend yells all the time because that's just what women do. And they won't see it any different. And you can't convince them, not that you need to, but they won't never seek better because they think that's how it's supposed to be. And this can apply to women too. A woman who had an abusive dad maybe, or an alcoholic dad, they'll say, oh, well, this is basically the best that I could get, and this is how my father was, and my mother loved my father, and they stayed together, and so this is just how it's supposed to be. I'm just supposed to deal with someone who's toxic and love them anyway and just deal with it. And people don't think that they can have better and can do better. And again, a lot of people don't like to change, so they think they're just supposed to accept and settle for what has been presented to them. But it's not about who you attract, it's about who you allow to stay, right? And some people just want somebody, so they allow toxic people to stay. And they never set boundaries, and they never see themselves And this is not thinking that you're better than somebody. This is not what that is about. But it's about setting boundaries and loving yourself. And loving yourself enough to not accept someone's abuse or toxic behavior. Right? There are lots of red flags and non-negotiable behaviors, and a lot of people will excuse them and push them to the side or ignore them just so that they can have somebody in their life, right? And this comes in all forms of abuse: verbal, mental, emotional, physical, financial, just to name a few, because there are many others that could show up. And again, people feel that they need to just accept it. But if someone exhibits that behavior in the beginning when you're just meeting each other, that's the best time to say, hey, this doesn't work for me. And if they go away, then they just go away. Then that just means that that situation wasn't meant for you. But if they stay and they do their best to do better, then you know that this person maybe really wants to be there, right? At the same time, some people can try to trick you, and they will try to play mind games with you, because there are some narcissistic, psychopathic, sociopathic people who will just do what you want in the meantime until they get what they want, or they feel like they have you in the place that they want you, whether it be a marriage, whether it be children, whether it be living together, or just emotionally so attached that they feel that you won't go anywhere. And then they will say manipulative things to you to get you to stay. And so you just have to be mindful of the different things that people do or say and how they show up. I used to work for the telephone company, and there's an older woman, and she said, I created a post, and I don't remember what the post was about. I think it was about washing dishes. And she said, or cleaning up or something. And she said when her and her husband, I guess, first got married and moved in with each other, it was like, hey, buddy, I'm not going to be the only one to cook and clean. So if you want, or maybe it was, I don't know if it was cooking and cleaning or if it was just cleaning. But anyway, if you want to stay in this marriage, then you're going to have to help, right? And guess what? He helped. And they've been together, I guess, at least 30, 40, 50 years by now. And so again, you have to set those boundaries in the beginning. You have to, set your own standards and speak up about what you will or will not tolerate. Right? You don't have to say it mean, but you do have to say it. Because if you don't say it in the beginning, the person is going to think that you're accepting of it. So then if you complain a year later, it's like, well, how come you never said that before? Because I thought you accepted me for who I am, the way that I am. And so again, if you don't, you need to speak up about it. Don't be passive aggressive. If you need something cleaned up, slamming doors and throwing pots and stuff around. No, that's not how you get it done. Being a passive aggressive is not the right approach. You have to say it and be honest about it. And if you're too shy to say it, then maybe I don't know if this is the right situation for you. Or maybe you can write it down, right? But you need to let that person know that this is unacceptable. And you can't be afraid that the person will leave. And you can't be afraid to walk away if you need to. But again, I know that some people don't have that trust and confidence that it will still work out in their favor. But people who speak up about it, it usually works in their favor. And they usually stay in that situation for a long time. Because they weren't afraid to speak their mind. And that person wanted to really be with them, so they adjusted accordingly. Because if somebody really wants to be with you, they will do whatever they need to do to make that happen. And so if it means that they need to change, even though they don't really want to, they will work on it. And that's another thing. Some people will actually work on it. They may not get it right every time. For example, if you have a man in your life who leaves the toilet seat up all the time, the first few times he may forget, right? But he'll at least make an effort, right? Then he may do it for 5 years, and then one day, he's in a rush and he forgets. So these things do happen. It's not that he's doing it intentional or to be spiteful, although some people do that, but that may not be his intention in that moment. And so allow him to explain, say, oh, I noticed you forgot to put the toilet seat down. Oh, I was rushing. I was running late for work. Or I heard the baby crying. Or whatever it is, right? So you do have to extend some grace in certain situations. And this is why communication is important. And I understand that some people are shy and they don't communicate well. But I don't really understand being in a relationship that does not have open and honest communication. I think communication is one of the most important things about a relationship. But again, I realize that some people disagree with that. And that's fine. Um, but I don't understand how you can build a relationship, build a business, build a legacy that you're going to leave for your children if you're not communicating. I don't understand what happens in this relationship if there is no communication. And again, this is just me. Um, and I understand what works for some people works for some people, but at the same time, I see it not working for those people that say it's working, because it's toxic or it's just unhealthy. So that's what I had to say about As a Man Thinketh. I don't know if it's against the rules for me to read the whole book, um, but that was the first few pages. And I have some pages that I turned up, if you can see that. And so I may read from some of those pages. Like this one is about thought and character. And then I have thought and circumstances. More of the same. So I may just read a few more pages from this book on another day. And then again, I'm going to read some pages from this book as well. So I thank you for watching as always. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and tell a friend to tell a friend. Welcome to the Nickie Brown Show. At one point, it was called the Nickie Brown Variety Show because I had a show called the Nickie Brown Variety Show years ago. And it was a sketch comedy show. And I still have some of those videos that I have access to on Facebook. But obviously, I've evolved into a different person. I'm still funny though. Like, don't get it twisted. I still love a good joke. And I still love to laugh. And some people think that means that you're not serious or that they can't take you seriously. And that's their problem because you can't judge a person based on that. But I just don't, I choose to see the lighter side of things and see the best in every situation, whereas some people are more pessimistic. I'm just more optimistic. And when something happens, I just do my best to look at it in a more uplifting and elevating way. I love y'all. Again, like, comment, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Come on over and let's heal together and work through the knowledge. I love to hear your comments. I appreciate those who do comment and share their thoughts. And I'm looking forward to hearing more from you all and what you think about the things that I share. Again, in the vein of it being the Nickie Brown Variety Show, I do post a variety of things. I do have some playlists. I have food. I have spiritual posts. I have just me being silly. I'm not sure if they have been tagged for copyright infringement because in some of them I'm singing. So not sure if they silenced the whole video, part of the video. But I do my best to enjoy life, and that's one of the things that I like to do. So, whatever you would like to see more of, I know that most people watch the food videos more than they do anything else, but hopefully that will turn around. Um, and you will be able to find something that you can enjoy and share with others so that they may enjoy it as well. Love y'all. Later. Mwah.